everybody. Just filled up with fuel now and setting off for my epic bank holiday week adventure. Hopefully the traffic down to Warwickshire is not going to be too bad. We've got tonight and tomorrow evening on the Warwickshire Avon, and then I'm down to Folkestone very early hours Sunday morning to get the Channel Tunnel over to France, and then it's off to Kingfisher Maison to fish on the River Meuse with Aid Cadell. Unfortunately, my 30 hours on the Warwickshire Avon weren't rewarded with any barbel. I did, however, catch some cracking roach and bream that made this short detour on my way to France well worthwhile. Evening guys, it's 12:30 on Saturday night, Sunday morning now. I'm just leaving the Warwickshire Avon and going to make the drive down to Folkestone and get the Channel Tunnel across to France. So hopefully it'll be a smooth drive down. I've just arrived in Folkestone, just gone through passport control now and getting ready to get onto the trains. The journey from Calais to Fiume is about 200 miles of motorway driving, travelling through northern France into Belgium and then back into France. With the tedium of motorway driving taking its toll, and with only 30 miles or so to go to Fiume, I decided it was time to get off the motorway and take to the B roads for a while and take in some of the stunning countryside and villages of this region of France. Two weeks prior to my visit, fellow angler and Facebook friend Darren Hurst had also visited Kingfisher Maison and managed a brilliant 56 barbel in 5 days. Thinking about what targets to set myself, I decided on 100 for the week. Would 100 even be possible? In the UK, I think this would be exceedingly difficult, but was there a chance on the continent? Well, we were about to find out. Passing through the village of Fiume, there, nestled against the mountains of the Ardennes, the River Meuse comes into view. As the sat-nav bleeps to tell me I've arrived at Kingfisher Maison, I see a lovely little cottage right next to the river, just yards from the water. The house has a lovely modern interior and my room looks very comfortable. I soon settle in and spend my first evening fishing right in the garden, catching my first French barbel. A cracking little fish of about 3.5 pounds, but from the way it fought, I would have sworn it was 7 or 8 pounds. Next morning, Aid takes me down to a spot below the weir, and I set up beside the lock so as to avoid the boat traffic. I quickly realised why Aid had chose the name Kingfisher Maison, as many of these stunning little birds went about their daily routine of catching fish. Throughout the day, many of these large continental barges traversed the locks as they travelled up and down the river. Bait-wise, I brought along some meat and maggots, but the main focus of my attack was going to be the ever-reliable cold creed boilies and matching paste, and the bait was certainly helping me get among the fish, as when Aid arrived at dinner time to bring me some lunch, I was just weighing my fifth, which turned out to be a new stretch best at £9.7 and a new River PB for me. It was a pleasant day's fishing on Monday, and I finished the day with 8. With the one from last night, my total was now on 9. From the nearby footbridge, it was possible to see large groups of barbel and chub as they swam in the shallows of the bridge piers, and it was a joy to spend the afternoon flicking in a few pellets and watching them feed. After tea Monday night, I again returned to the area below the lock, and the action was fast and furious. By the time I had arrived to check on me 2 hours later, I'd already landed 12, and I finished the night with a personal best 31 barbel in a night, taking my total to 40. Tuesday afternoon saw myself and Aid go out in the car to check out some swims in the local area, and this one caught my eye. So after tea I returned, and I had several good fish in the 7 to 8 pound range, but the catfish activity meant the fishing was slow. As dawn broke on a stunning misty morning in the Ardennes, there was a chance of a fish or two before heading back to the house for breakfast. And sure enough, the barbel started to come. The Meuse is also home to some cracking chub sport, with fish to over 6 pound a real possibility. With the 8 from Tuesday night taking my total to 48, I decided that Wednesday evening I'd head back down to the area below the lock and fish Monday night's productive swim at the steps. That night I banked a further 19 barbel to take the total to 67, and I certainly won't complain about 19 in a night, although the fish did seem to have dropped downstream a bit. With 33 to go to reach that lofty 100 target, I settled into a swim on Thursday night a little way downstream, as I'd had an idea that the fish had moved down towards a large area of snags. So I was going to fish just above this and try to catch a big bag and meet that target. The evening got off to a slow start, but as the swim started to build, I started to get some interest. It wasn't long before I was into a fish and things were looking up. With every barbel I caught, it never ceased to amaze me just how hard these River Meuse barbel fight for their size. In my specimen angling back in the UK, it's all about trying to find the next big fish. But here on the River Meuse, where the barbel averaged just £4 to £6, there are no monsters to be caught. Even though I'd set myself the target of trying to catch 100 in a week, it was such a refreshing change to just be fishing for the pure enjoyment of the sport. The night turned rather foggy, but the fish continued to come as I hooked into another good fish, and my total continued to rise. The total had climbed through the teens, and I was now well into the 20s as this fish came to the net. With the fish well rested, it was time to get her out and have a look. With the fish unhooked, it's time to show her off to the camera on another lovely Meuse barbel of around £6. As dawn broke that Friday morning, the river was shrouded in mist and looked absolutely stunning. With a couple more fish added, I was now on 32 for the night, a new best. And the total was at 99. And I was teetering on the brink of beating that 100 target. Soon after, I received a double take which saw me land fish 33 and 34 for the night, which took my total to 101. I really couldn't believe it. I'd actually done it, and in just 4 days. Coffee and the adrenaline of catching had kept me going through the night, but I was really enjoying this brew as I savoured my achievement. Aid would soon be down to tell me it was time for breakfast, so it was time to rebait and get the rods out to see if I could get one more before he arrived. The winning tactics during the week had been to fish either single or double creep boilies with paste wraps at night. This was fished in combination with ground pellets and crushed boilies in a feeder. Yet again I was getting a cracking scrap from a Meuse barbel, although the early morning walkers and cyclists were a little distracting. Whoops, watch your step fall. These River Meuse barbel really don't know when to give up and scrap all the way to the net. With the fish now in the net, I give her a good rest before it's time to have a look at number 35 for the night and 102 for the week. double creed boilies do it again. It's time to show her off to the camera, and what a stunning example she is of a River Meuse barbel. And it's time to say goodbye as I get her back in for a rest and see her on her way. With the target now beat, I had the chance for a day's rest and relaxation, and the chance to fish for the pure fun of it. Earlier in the week, visitor Hugh Strollenberg had caught a nice roach from in front of the house, and I'd promised myself the chance to fish for one of these gorgeous fish. That evening, setting up in front of the house on a light quiver tip rod and light line, it was a thoroughly enjoyable evening, and we were joined by new visitors, Pascal Vermeulen and his son, Luca, and we chatted on the bank for several hours as I caught a further 3 barbel and several bream. I finished the night off with this stunning barbel caught on light gear, and it was a pleasure to share the photo with Aid, who along with his partner Chichka had been such excellent hosts during my stay. My trip to the River Meuse had been incredible value for money. With a 6-night stay, full room and board at Kingfisher Maison, return travel on the Channel Tunnel, and diesel for my gas-guzzling 4x4, I'd done the entire trip for less than £600. With 106 barbel, as well as numerous roach, chub, dace and bleak landed during my stay at Kingfisher Maison, you can't deny that there's something rather special about the River Meuse.